Good morning, everybody. This is Todd with the Forex Nitty Gritty Insiders Daily video. Hope you had a good evening and trading's going well for you. Before we get started looking at some of the charts here today, I wanted to go through and just kind of look at what's been happening in the stock markets around the globe. Yesterday, the U.S. market was down a little bit. Europe is flat. The Asian market was down quite a bit, almost 1% on some of those. Oil up still at 93.61. Gold still right in that 1650 area. Pre-market today, before the market opens here, which it opens in about 15 minutes. We've got the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500 all showing lower opens. And a lot of this is because I don't think the market's looking for a real strong earnings season here coming up. And so we'll see the market kind of react to that. News-wise today, we really don't have too much going on until this evening where at least, well, in Australia there's some things, but in the U.S., really there's the IBD-TIPP economic optimism coming out in about 45 minutes, consumer credits coming out. So nothing that's really that significant as far as an impact into the markets. Coming up tomorrow, same thing, not a whole lot going on from that. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today, and this stems from some questions about looking at longer-term charts and being able to use that with the simple trading method. And, the answer is that you can use longer-term charts. In this case, I've got the weekly charts up here. These weekly charts are not generally what people are trading for the most part, although I guess you could, still following the rules for the setups and whatnot. These become probably more important from the standpoint of looking for the trend and support and resistance. So I'm just going to put onto here a moving average of 40. And you can see that this really takes a long time to change direction. Right now, the price is above the moving average, although it's either slightly down here still, but flattening out. In addition to being able to determine the trend, and I'm not saying that the 40 is what you need to use, but that's something that a lot of people will look at. We can look at areas of support and resistance, and this is a good example on the euro dollar here of how we have a pretty good resistance coming down. It breaks through it here, and now that old resistance point is a new support area. We've started making higher highs as well as higher lows, and so we're starting to see the formation of an uptrend being developed on the weekly charts. In addition, we can look at long-term areas of these swing highs and swing lows to help determine where the market may be sitting. Now, as we look at this, we could reasonably say that the weekly chart has pulled back down towards an area of support. By looking at opportunities to say that the market's moving back up again, a move above the highest high of the last three would certainly tell us that the market is moving back up. Now in this case, the highest high of the last three is going to be right here. So it's going to have to move up almost 300 pips to be able to move above that. Now, ideally, what will happen is the market will settle down and we'll get another opportunity to enter into this. But right now, it's certainly got a ways to go before we would say that the market's going up. Now, could you trade that? You could, in anticipation of get longer term movements on things. So right now, some upward bullish momentum happening on the euro dollar weekly. Aussie dollar, this is one that is very flat. And again, we looked at this on the daily charts, but some pretty good tightening here. Looking for a breakout of this pair is what we would be wanting to see. Here is the weekly US Swiss franc. And you can see that our lows are getting lower and our highs are getting lower, so it's starting to trend down a little bit there. Pound dollar, again, that triangle formation, looking for a breakout. US Japanese yen, again, this one's really difficult, even on the weekly chart, that to find strong areas of, back in here, right where we're at right now, would be an area where we'd consider being some areas of old resistance, new support. And last but not least, the US CAD. You can see our constriction here, contraction into that. So sometimes not only looking at the daily charts can help us, but also looking at the weekly charts to get these long-term perspectives of where things are moving. And if you can do that, you'll find that you'll get a better picture of what's happening in the overall markets. So with that, we will wrap it up. Have a fantastic day today. And if you have questions, feel free to let us know. If not, we'll be back tomorrow. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.